Hello stargazers and magic makers, I'm Yolanda, welcome to my channel. So in today's video we're going to look at the lunar eclipse on the 7th of September, which occurs at 11:08 p.m. here in the Pacific Northwest. This is a total lunar eclipse and it is going to be visible over East Africa, Asia and Australia. So a reminder that a lunar eclipse occurs when the moon moves into the Earth's shadow, transforms the moon into this reddish-orange color, and the moon becomes a so-called blood moon. A lunar eclipse is a supercharged moon. This eclipse occurs in the sign of Pisces. Now think back to March 13, 14, earlier this year. There was a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, in the sign opposite Pisces. Now, whatever you did at that time is coming home to roost or to end around this time. You will want to look at your Virgo house for context, like for more themes about what's coming to an end, but also consider that perhaps the time has come to let a person with Virgo placements go. So someone with like a Virgo sun or a Virgo moon. Eclipses bring fated events. So whatever's happening is part of your life story and it's meant to be. Every 6 months until the first quarter of 2027, there will be an eclipse in either Virgo or Pisces. And you can expect to experience shifts in the areas of life ruled by this Virgo-Pisces axis in your natal chart. I am currently offering an eclipse forecast reading and I will add the booking link in the comments. If you have planets or points in Virgo or Pisces, this is the reading for you. Now, before I dive in, a reminder that you can download free astrology cheat sheets on my website in which I explain what we mean by houses in astrology, and I also share a step-by-step process for you to download your own birth chart for free. Okay, so you're probably feeling pulled lately towards being more practical and logical in your approach to life situations. Now, that's the Virgo side of this Virgo-Pisces eclipse axis being activated, but you're also probably feeling a little disoriented and confused, and that is the Pisces side being activated. Now, Saturn is also retrograde and is going to be the retrograde until November this year. And Saturn retrograde in Pisces adds to the sense of like floating or being adrift. So what Saturn really wants in Pisces is a sacrifice. You're going to have to give up something. Perhaps it is time. You're going to just have to sacrifice time or comfort so you can work towards achieving a goal. This eclipse season highlights the need to shed and to purge. There is a strong call to release in order to heal. Now, both signs, Virgo and Pisces, are signs of healing. Virgo takes the natural and practical approach to healing body, mind, and spirit, for example, by eating well, while Pisces heals through prayer and meditation and Asclepions, which we call sleep temples. The ancient Greeks and Egyptians would go to sacred sites and they would seek healing through dreams and divine guidance. So you want to pay attention to your dreams this week. Another way we heal is through story and myth. And so with that, I wanted to share a fairy tale. This is a well-known Norwegian fairy tale and it is called The Lindworm. So lean in closer. There lived a long time ago in a faraway kingdom a queen who was desperate to have a child with her beloved king. One day the queen was walking alone in the forest, grieving, when she came across an old woman. "Why are you crying?" asked the old woman, and the queen told her she couldn't conceive a child. The old woman told her to speak her desire into a little cup in the northwest part of the garden in the palace. "Breathe your desires and longings into the cup," she said, "and then bury the cup in the dark soil. In the morning, when you come back, pull the cup up and there will be 2 flowers. There will be a white flower and a red flower. Whatever you do," said the old woman, "eat the white flower, not the red." So the queen does as she has been told that night, and in the morning when she opens up the cup, there's a white flower and there's a red flower. And what does she proceed to do? She eats the red flower. Instantly, the queen recognizes that she's pregnant. 9 months later, the queen pushes out into the world a small black snake and a beautiful baby boy. The snake is thrown out of the window by the old midwife in attendance, and she does not mention this to the queen. Years pass. The human prince grows into a fine prince. One day he is out riding looking for a pretty and kind woman to take as his bride, but he is confronted instead at the crossroads by a great serpent. The serpent tells him he is the older brother, and as such, he must marry first. The prince returns home to the palace with the snake, and when the king and queen discover that the snake did indeed slither out of the queen's womb first, they take him in. The serpent prince marries and eats his first wife. He marries again and eats his second wife. And so it goes on, that with time, the palace courtiers find only bones the morning after each wedding. Eventually, no princess or woman of any rank wants to marry the serpent prince. But then one day, a shepherd's daughter comes to the palace and says she will marry the serpent prince, on the condition that she is given time to prepare. The king and queen agree, and the young woman goes to the forest and seeks counsel from the trees and the nature spirits. At the foot of an oak tree, an old woman appears and tells her to make 12 wedding night dresses, and she's to wear each of the dresses on a wedding night. And so it is that a year later, when the young woman marries the serpent wraps himself around her and demands that she take off her nightdress. She says, "Of course, I will take off my nightdress, but only after you take off a set of scales." And so, because no one has ever asked him to remove his scales before, the serpent prince removes his scales, and it is very painful, the shedding of his skin. And so it goes that layer after layer, the serpent removes his scales while she removes her nightdresses. Eventually, all that is left is that he is vulnerable and a gooey white worm. The shepherd's daughter, now in her last nightdress, gets out her scrubbing brushes, and she scrubs the flesh of this worm until eventually a handsome young man is revealed. Now this story is multi-layered, and it's about many things. But it is also a story about our healing from our wounds, psychic wounds, physical wounds, spiritual wounds. All of the healing is painful. There is nothing easy or gentle about healing, because true healing happens through a process of shedding skin and of letting go. True healing is not an accumulation of gentle modalities and resources. Healing doesn't come from more therapy or more spells or more crystals or more layers of skin and scales, but from purging and shedding. Healing demands the same kind of violent shedding experienced by this enchanted prince in the Norwegian fairy tale of the Lindworm. So this eclipse season is going to be felt primarily by those of us with placements in Virgo and Pisces. And you're being asked to shed skin relating to your Virgo house. Something in your Virgo house has to go. Black Moon Lilith is activated this season, and she's in Scorpio. Now she will be in a trine to the moon in Pisces. And what this tells us is that you mustn't be afraid to break. Don't stop yourself from getting emotional, because the light gets in when we break. Black Moon Lilith is raw, primal energy. It's the point in the sky where we are touching lightning and becoming dangerous because we've stopped believing the lies, and because we don't accept the falsehoods that have been imposed upon us. We break away from patterns, just like Lilith in Jewish mythology was banished from the Garden of Eden for refusing to be subservient to Adam. We are also called to break away, to exile ourselves, to remove ourselves from situations or places where we are not seen in our true light, where we're not appreciated for who we are. So this lunar eclipse has got a more gentle energy, in comparison to the upcoming solar eclipse on the 22nd, because this lunar eclipse is actually ruled by an exalted Jupiter in Cancer. But you can be sure that it is going to be emotional. You're going to be feeling a lot. Again, if you have placements in virgo-pisces, you're going to be aware of this need to be emotionally cleansed. Like emotions have to be processed and released during this lunar eclipse. And Jupiter ruling this eclipse is wanting you to grow towards being more of yourself, becoming a better version of yourself, a bigger version of yourself, someone who is not prepared to dim their light, someone who's prepared to take on more, be more, and live more. Thank you for watching. Do please like this video if you found it helpful, and I would appreciate a comment too. Thank you for watching.